Hey, Jason here, and this is the Movo UM800, not to be confused with the Blue Yeti or some variant of it, as a lot of you seem to think this is. But it's safe to say that's by purpose and by design, because Movo not only built this mic very similar to the Yeti, but set the price point on par with the Yeti and got their marketing team to send this mic out to channels that either review or heavily feature the Yeti in their videos. That's how I ended up with one, and how one of my favorite ASMR channels got sent one too. But anyway, today we're going to be reviewing this guy and answering the question, is this Blue Yeti clone / alternative better than the Yeti or not? And let's get right into my thoughts. So talking price, first off, it's important to point out that the Movo UM800 is $100 on Amazon for the black or white colors. The silver is $150 for some reason, and it's the default color when you search up this mic, but make sure you go to the product page, click on the black or white color option, and you won't end up paying $50 extra for some paint. Now, the Yeti is unfortunately still stuck at $130, which is $30 more than where it should be, and it's ironic because other blue mics like the Snowball, which got more expensive as quarantine started, have now dropped below their original price. But the Yeti's feeling special, I guess, making the UM800 $30 cheaper than the Blue Yeti right now. I'll link the cheapest prices I can find on Amazon to all these mics down in the description. Let's hop into audio samples. I want to make sure I let you guys listen to the audio you get with this mic and form your own opinions before I give my thoughts. So the following example will be unedited audio from the Movo UM800. Greetings, it's Jason. I'm talking into the Movo UM800 with 6 inches or so distance between me and the mic. And since I got your attention right now, I'm going to recommend a few videos of mine to check out after done with this one that I think are low-key, just a tad underappreciated. So if you want to hear this mic, the UM800 stacked against a $300 mic setup, that's my last video before this one. If you want to spend a quarter hour with me as I give you a tour of my small yet pretty room, that's the video before that. And if you want to learn about some good websites and apps for buying crypto, that's the third most recent video from this one. Wrapping up this audio test, keep in mind that the entirety of this video was voiceovered with the UM800. The only difference with this section is that it's been edited to sound crisp. That's the voiceover for this video that's been edited. This example portion has been unedited. Talking design language, the UM800 is a cylinder with a grill up top and a USB port and headphone jack at the bottom, all supported by a swivel stand. In terms of buttons and knobs, mute, volume, gain, and pattern mode, they're all just copied and pasted to the front and back from the Yeti as well. Just like the price and market segment, the design here is heavily inspired, if you want to put it like that. But really, I can't knock Movo for doing that, as the Yeti was popular despite its flaws, and so far, the Movo seems like it's stacking up at a cheaper price. Let me elaborate a bit on saying the Movo stacks up to the Yeti though. My first impression was that the Movo sounded worse than the Yeti when I first slapped the editing settings I used with the Yeti onto the UM800. This was back at least 6 months ago for perspective, and the quality I got was hollow and lifeless. I think it's a good thing I waited several months though before I made this video, because I just learned the unique and different stock sound signatures of these mics. The Movo is crispier with more sibilance, it's less full sounding, with a very low noise floor, maybe even lower than the Yeti. Taking that into consideration though, for me, it's hard to treat the Yeti quality versus UM800 quality debate as anything but different yet equal, overall good, at $100. I fell straight into the trap during editing of, well, gotta crank that bass up on the UM800 because it sucks, when in reality, I was cranking the highs on the Yeti because it wasn't as clear as the Movo. Alrighty, it had to happen. Let me address the cable on the UM800. Context, for anyone that doesn't know why you should care about the cable, I made a video on how the cable and stand design on the Yeti ended up screwing with the insides of the mic, rendering it broken and useless. So I've had the UM800 a bit longer than I had the Yeti before it broke, so we're looking good at this point. But I will say I got PTSD with small cables combined with swivel stands. And I need to make a small PSA regarding that video on the Yeti. I know if you look at the video where I rotate the Yeti to where the cable hits the stand, the cable is not bent in that direction, making me look a little dumb. Just note the mic wouldn't go back and forth, flopping to hit the stand, flopping the other way, getting poked and prodded during regular use. Ultimately, the main message that it broke without any sort of abuse stands. But that ties into the cable on the UM800. While I wish the cable was USB-B, or that the micro USB cable it does have was kind of embedded into the base, at the very least, the swivel stand doesn't get loose on its own like the Yeti. I'd say still be careful though. So before we finish up the review, let's talk barely significant details of the Movo, starting with the windscreen. It's there, it's free, and it protects against popping Ps to a degree. Also, the Movo comes with a USB-A, USB-C, and Lightning cable included. That is convenient in some circumstances, like last semester, when I only needed to carry my iPad to record a podcast for class. Oh, and again, this entire video was voiceovered by the Movo, slight editing as opposed to the unedited samples from earlier. So there you have it, people, the Movo UM800 reviewed through the lens of the Blue Yeti knockoff that it is. Hope this helped you come to a decision, or not come to a decision and do further research, because sometimes that's what it takes. But just keep in mind there's magic links down below that'll take you to the lowest prices I could find for these mics on Amazon that also support the channel at no extra cost to you. And that's all I gotta say. I'll see you in the next video.